Okay, so basically, I had a spinal cord injury when I was 20 years old. I was a mechanical engineering student in the UK. I fell down a cliff when I was on holiday with some friends and injured my neck at level C5, 6. So that's a spinal cord injury. I was in hospital for about 9 months, and I left hospital um, being able to walk a tiny bit with crutches, but mostly being a wheelchair user most of the time, um, and a lot of other things that go along with having a spinal cord injury. But my hands were severely affected. So this was the thing that I was most frustrated with. So this is where I started inventing things to help me overcome reduced hand function.
What gave you the idea?
It was just that I I was really frustrated not being able to use things like in the gym, being able to train and build my upper body strength when my hand function was reduced, but my arms still were wanted to be stronger. I wanted to help propel myself in my wheelchair, and it was just frustrating that I couldn't use any gym equipment at all. So the idea was to invent a simple product that I could use um, to help me grip in the gym that would be strong enough to hold weights and to help me train my arms. And that was easy enough that I could use and be independent with. That was always a big thing for me, that I wouldn't have to ask for assistance all the time. I could just be independent in the gym.
So it helps you be independent, which is something I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Um, so tell me a little bit about it. Tell me a little bit about Active Hands.
So let's see if we can. Yeah. So Active Hands was started as a limited company in 2007, and um, we began by just uh, inventing some from my mum's home sewing machine, and then a few people saw them and wanted to have them of their own. So a small company was started so that we could basically be able to get them out to other people to help other people to use them and be able to do their physiotherapy and rehab and that kind of thing, and just to be more independent using sort of gym and rehab equipment, and then also around the home. I think from there we then started developing some new products for use in various different environments, including sort of holding small items, different ideas in the gym and stuff like that. And then we set up the website to just enable people to access various pieces of equipment, all to do with hand function and affected hand function, basically.
That's pretty amazing that you can hold a weight and hold a knife with the same product. Do you mind telling me what those rings are for, Rob?
So the rings are to enable you to undo it and do it up yourself. So the circular ring, it means that even if you've got both hands affected, like I have with my spinal injury, and it seems many people with CMT have as well, that you don't have to have a pinch grip to be able to pull the fastenings tight. You can just put a finger through there, and then you can use that to pull the aid tight around your wrist and around over your hand, and it just allows independence without having to sort of use your teeth or anything like that. Which is just a lot nicer to do, and you can get something a lot tighter with putting a finger through it and doing it that way.
So, so people with limited mobility can use either their finger
Yep.
or like another tool to get it on. Now, my hand might be a little bit bigger or a little bit smaller than your hand. Are there different sizes for
Yeah.
people, or different ones for women versus men versus kids?
So we sell a mini version, which is sort of for young kids, and then there are three sizes of the sort of adult version: a small, a medium, a small and a standard, and a large. So between those sizes, they should fit pretty much anybody, really.
That's pretty cool. So those hold weights, and that one holds a knife. And then I see her; she's exercising on a bike, and this other person is gardening.
Yeah. So these
Are
are.
those cool?
This is the same product. This is a general purpose gripping aid. which is our most versatile one. It's the first one that I designed, and it's the most versatile product. So you can see Josie here, who's a GB Paralympian. She's doing some training on the SciFit bike. And then in the picture on the right, then there's somebody using one of our aids to help in the garden. So this is another piece of adaptive equipment which we also sell. This is a sort of right-angled trowel with an arm cuff, and with the general purpose aid, you can get a really firm grip of the handle of that as well, to just be able to assist you in doing something like that where you need a little bit more strength and a little bit more grip. So I think we're up to about 10 products now that Active Hands actually manufacture and has designed, and there are sort of variations on each of one of those. And then on our website, there are a load of other products which we have discovered and found and purchased from other companies, and we sell those, but all related to reduced hand function. So anything from sort of reaches and grabbers to bottle openers and magnetic shoelaces, things to help you with zips, various different items, but all hand function related.
I'm somebody with reduced hand function, and I see this man is doing pulleys. How is this going to benefit me by being able to grip, ride the bike, the hand bike, or grip these pulleys? What exactly is that going to do for my arms that would benefit me to be able to grip these things?
Well, I think anything that enables you to be active is going to be good for your heart. It's going to be good for your health. It's going to be good for your long-term well-being and health. And I think sometimes when your hand strength goes, along with it often goes your ability to be able to do some of those things, so to ride a bike, to use a hand bike, and to go into the gym. And it may not necessarily be that your arms are weak, but if you haven't got the hand function to hold onto the equipment, then that kind of takes that sort of possibility away from you. So our products are great for, they're not going to give you anything back in your hands. They're not going to make your hand function come back, but they will allow you to keep up your upper body strength and keep your cardiovascular system working by being able to do exercises. And they're also, just really good to be able to use things around the home and to overcome the reduction in grip that prevents you doing some things when your hand function is affected.
No, and I'm glad you brought that up. It's so important, whether you have a spinal cord injury or something like Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease or any other disability, that we stay active. We are prone to the same types of inactive diseases as anybody else, really, heart disease, diabetes, and that can come with inactivity. So your products, really, by allowing people with limited hand function to continue to remain active, is just fantastic. Are there any favorite stories you've heard? Any great testimonials that somebody has approached you about? Anything that you'd like to share with us?
Yeah, we have so many stories. All the time we're getting people coming through to us and saying, how much they've changed their lives, and sometimes the catalyst of just being able to feel independent, that kind of encouragement that you get, and this kind of mental well-being of being able to go into the gym or somewhere, or do an activity that you thought you wouldn't be able to do anymore, really starts to change people's lives, and they start sort of going forward from that point. I think probably one of my favorite stories is a guy who got in touch with us. He was a BMX rider, a very high level BMX rider, and he had a hand injury, some form, or something affected one of his hands, and he met one of his friends 30 years after he had to stop becoming a BMX racer. And his friend said, "Oh, you're not on the circuit anymore. There's a sort of veteran circuit for BMX racing. Why don't you get involved?" And he said, "Oh, well, I can't ride anymore because they've got no strength in my hand. I can't hold onto the handlebars." And his friend said, "Well, you must be something you can find that will help you do that." He searched around on the internet for a while and came across Active Hands. He bought one of our general purpose gripping aids, and now he's back riding again 30 years later on. And he said it made him cry the first time he got back on his bike and he could competitively ride again. and now he's winning veteran trophies all the time because he was such a good rider, and he's still got that. He just couldn't hold on to the handlebars for a while, but our product has given him that lease of life back so that he can get back into the thing he used to love doing. And
That really is.
We get stories like that all the time. People, you know, who use them for various different places, things to do on around the home, you know, in the physical way. There's just loads of stories that we get, and it's great to see, you know, what the difference that our products can make to people's lives. You know, it's sometimes just a small thing, but it makes a really big difference when you can do something like that. I think if we've got the next slide, I think there's one of Bernadette. Is it Bernadette? Is that her name? Yeah. So here she is.
Bernadette.
Yeah. So she has CMT, and as you can see in the photo on the right, this is one of our other products, a small item gripping aid, and she's using that to be able to hold drumsticks to drum for the first time after her hand function was reduced. And she's got the same product again, doing some art and picture too.
So these products, so not only can you use them to grip a bicycle and grip weights and, you know, dumbbells, but you can also use them to grip something as small as a paintbrush and a drumstick.
Yeah, so the small items gripping aid is designed for sort of fine motor skills. So it's for holding smaller items, anything like a drumstick or a paintbrush. And the reason it was invented, which is the same as many of our products, is that we've got feedback from people saying, you know, I can't do this certain thing. Your products are great, but they don't allow me to do this. And we had a lot of feedback from women with spinal cord injuries who said that they couldn't do their own makeup, which is a very sort of personal thing. You know, it's very difficult to hold on some of the makeup brushes, the makeup items. You know, can you invent something for me which you can use to help hold me these small makeup items? So the idea of the small item gripping aid is that there are a number of clamps, which it's a shame that we can't get the video to work because I've got one here to show you. But you can detach and reattach a small palm pad. So, for example, you could put the glove section on one time, and then you could have 3 or 4 different palm pads all set up with different items in for personal care. So, for example, a toothbrush, a hairbrush, a razor, you know, a makeup item, all these things. You can also use it for cutlery. So you could swap between them, and that's the idea of the small item aid, to give people independence that way.
So for someone with CMT who often has like a wrist drop, would this product that Bernadette is wearing in this slide, would that help keep control of the paintbrush or the makeup brush or the drumstick?
Yeah, sorry. It will give you some wrist support. It's not designed to have a huge amount of wrist support because some people will need that and some people will find that restrictive. But they're made so that they're big enough you could wear like a wrist splint underneath it and then put it over the top. And that's what a lot of people do if they need the additional wrist support as well.
We have 10 products on the market right now as we speak, right?
Yes, yeah. So we've got, so our website is just activehands.com. And they're a mixture of our own products that we've designed ourselves and products that we've found in the darkest depths of the internet to work out other things that will help people with reduced hand function. So you can see
Are you working on anything new, or is anything coming down the pipeline?
We're always working on something new. We're constantly designing new products. So the one that says new there with the hook aids, just on the left at the top. So that's our new product that came out about 2 months ago. And there's a new product just to the right of that, 2 to the right, called the limb difference aid. That's for people with reduced hand function due to amputation or being born with parts of fingers or hands missing.
And how does that work?
So that has 2 adjustable straps. So it has a strap on the palm side, which can be wrapped around like a dumbbell or something similar. And then another one which goes over the back of the hand. Because our general purpose gripping aid is designed to pull your fingers into the gripping shape so that your fingers actually grip on the item. But if you've got fingers or parts of your hand missing, that doesn't work quite so well. So this is why, from feedback from customers again, we designed a new set to work for people with limb difference.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. And now you're from the UK. You've obviously started in the UK. Are you finding yourself shipping to all over the world?
Yeah, so we're a company selling very niche products. So, there aren't many people who need our products. So we do sell all over the world. Every day we send enough products to end users and sometimes to companies who are selling in other parts of the world for us. We're still a very small family-owned company. We try our best to be as professional as possible and to create the best service we can and good customer service. But at the end of the day, we're a few people working in an office and designing and sending out our products around the world, really.
I'm excited about these products. I see on the slides that you have children using these products too.
Yeah, so we have a number of kids, particularly the child on the right using the adaptive tricycle. A lot of the kids use them, particularly kids with cerebral palsy and similar things, to attach themselves to adapted tricycles and that kind of thing, and walkers. And we do the smaller sizes as well. We try and cater for everyone. We're trying to be the kind of go-to place in the world for people with reduced hand function. We're like trying to be the go-to website.
No, yeah, it looks like you're doing an amazing job. We have some participants that have, made some comments, or,
Okay.
have even just have said some really great things about your products. And something that Derek said is that he's got almost every single active hand product that they make.
Okay.
Obviously, that's it speaks volumes about your
Yep.
product. Pete, I read this before. He says finding things like holding cans of soda or his firearm is getting more and more difficult. So he's continuing to have to improvise and adapt.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody else, Derek again, says he's able to cut bread with his gloves.
Yep.
Use knives. And it's just something that we spoke about earlier about how important it is to even just use cutlery in your kitchen to maintain a healthy diet, and without relying on someone else having to cook for you or take out for that matter.
Yep.
I see on your website there's so many things that people are doing, from horseback riding to kayaking to just so much activity. Rock climbing.
Yep. I think once you start like using our aids, you sort of see the potential, and all these things that may have seemed like they were not possible before suddenly become possible again. And it's certainly encouraged me by the feedback that we get from our customers, and we always have new things that we work out that our customers are starting to do with them. That our customers are the best people for giving ideas of what they can be used for, and also giving us ideas of where we're still lacking and where we still need to develop new products. And we love to get that feedback.
Right. Derek said he just went climbing with them now.
Oh, great.
It seems like Derek gets a lot of use out of them, which
Good.
is fantastic.
Good for Derek.
So Tara, I think this is a really important question.
Mm-hmm.
Tara is asking, let me just go back to it. Do people have difficulty getting these braces covered by insurance in the United States?
It's all a bit of a different system over there. Obviously, we've got the NHS here, but most people will tend to buy them from their own pocket. They're not a hugely expensive item. They do have a premium, but they will last a long time. So hopefully they're worthwhile. But when it comes to insurance, I think they probably would be covered. It just depends your insurance provider. And there are some US resellers of our products, so you can buy them from a company from the US, which often the insurance companies require.
Rob, I'm just curious. I saw this on your website earlier, but I was just curious about what are the price ranges not on everything, but a general price ranges for some of your products or your most used products.
So the general purpose one is, I think, $84.95, and it should last, a good number of years. We understand that, we manufacture in the UK, and we manufacture to the highest quality we can, and it does come at a price. We make lots of little tweaks to it to make sure it's exactly right, so that someone can use it independently, and that means that there's quite an expensive manufacture process, and we are only making a small number because of it's such a niche product. But we find people will use them for a number of years. You can put them through the wash. They're very durable and they're very strong.
So, but $80 and $90 is actually really not terribly expensive. Is that for one, for the pair?
That's for one, because they can be bought individually. Some people only need one hand. So we're whatever price you charge, some people will find it really expensive and some people will find it really cheap, and there's not much we can do about that. But
of course,
we've pitched it at what we can manage to sell it for, and still as low as we can, but to keep a business profitable so that we can make new products and we can invent new things to solve the needs. The problem is, we've got a lot of development costs for a lot of products, and we're constantly designing new things to help people. So we need to make sure that we are a business that which can keep going afloat and keep doing that.
Right, that makes sense. Pete Siegel asked if there will be any firearm and bow friendly models to come. He says, I would love to be able to bow hunt again as well.
So I think the general purpose one will help you with the holding the bow. It's something that you hold, out straight in front of you with your arm, and then it'll be held at 90 degrees to your hand. So the other difficulty is going to be pulling the string. We have had a couple of people have come to us to adapt shooting for bow shooting. Sort of, I don't know what you'd call it, the thing that you pull the string back with a wrist strap, but it's not something that we've done many times, and it's not, being in the UK, there's not much need for the sort of firearm side of things, but I understand that's very different in the US. It's not something we've managed to develop yet, because squeezing a trigger and holding a gun, you need some sort of active movement, which is difficult to recover if you've got no finger movement at all.
Right, that makes sense. Okay, so Tara wants to know if you're able to consult with people on which braces would be able to help them better given their level of disability, chance of recovery, and tasks they want to accomplish with it.
Yeah, definitely. So we are quite happy to talk to customers all the time. If people just send us an email, so if you send an email to info@activehands.com, that goes directly to me. We regularly have people contacting us to say, this is my condition, this is what I want to do, what can you recommend? And we'll do our best to point you in the right direction. Potentially we could try and make something bespoke if we haven't got something already, or we might be able to point you in the right direction if we don't have anything ourselves. But we're quite happy to have that conversation with people and do our best to answer questions.
Have you noticed any best sellers for you guys?
Yeah, the best sellers and the most versatile is definitely the general purpose gripping aid. So that's under the kind of gym, sport, leisure, but also under many of the other areas as well. But so the first one in the list, the general purpose gripping aid, is definitely the most versatile. And for someone wanting to, to have a try with CMT, that would be the one I would suggest. Back onto the, suggesting what is the best product for you as well. We are very happy for people to purchase from our website, take them home, take all the tags off, try them out, doing whatever they want to do. And if it doesn't work for them, just send it back to us for a full refund. Even if you've used it and tried it, that's the whole ethos around what we're doing. We understand that some people they're going to work for and some people they're not in some situations. So we're quite happy for people to try them out and then send them back if they don't work.
Wow, that's a, some backing. You have, I mean, that's a lot of faith in your products, and I
Yep.
think for good reason.
Yeah, we know how much, when we get it right, and when the person tries it out and finds it really works for them, we know how good they are. So we understand that some conditions it may not quite work exactly for, but we're quite happy for people to try it out. We'd much prefer that than them to not have the option of giving it a go and be afraid that it wouldn't work for them because they have to pay for it and not be able to send it back. So we're quite
Right,
happy to have them back if they don't work.
right. Well, Rob, I really, really want to thank you, Rob Smith from Active Hands. I want to thank you so much for participating in this webinar with us. If you guys have any questions or any comments, you can leave it on the page, and we'll try our best to get back to it. If you have any questions about his products, you can go to Active Hands, the Active Hands website, and see which one might work best for you. Also, don't forget, the Hereditary Neuropathy Foundation has a summit, Movement is Medicine, November 8th and 9th coming up. And this all ties in. It's at Ability 360, and it is going to be amazing. It's something you don't want to miss. Guys, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Rob, thank you so much for your information. I feel like this could help a lot of people with CMT as well as people, with other disabilities. I can't
No
thank you
problem.
enough. And
Thank
it
you.
was great.
Thank you.
Have a great night, everybody.
Bye.